Earth vs. the Spider, 1958, is a classic creature feature from the 1950s that taps into the era's fascination with giant monsters. The film begins in a small American town, where a high school student named Carol Flynn becomes worried when her father fails to return home after a trip. Her father, Mr. Flynn, was driving along a remote highway when he suddenly disappeared. Concerned, Carol convinces her boyfriend, Mike Simpson, to help her search for him. Their search leads them to a dark, eerie cave on the outskirts of town. Inside the cave, they stumble upon Mr. Flynn's wrecked truck, but there's no sign of him. Instead, they discover something far more terrifying, a gigantic spider, many times larger than a normal arachnid, lurking within the cave. Horrified, they manage to escape and rush back to town to warn the authorities. Initially, the local sheriff and other townspeople are skeptical of the teenager's story. However, they eventually agree to investigate the cave. The townspeople, led by the sheriff and the local science teacher, Mr. Kingman, enter the cave with a truckload of DDT, a powerful insecticide, hoping to kill the monstrous spider. They manage to locate the spider in the cave and spray it with DDT, believing they have successfully killed the creature. The spider appears to be dead, and they bring its massive body back to the high school gymnasium for further study. The town breathes a collective sigh of relief, thinking the threat has been neutralized. However, in a classic twist of horror, the spider is not actually dead, it was only temporarily incapacitated by the DDT. That night, while the town is asleep, the spider awakens and breaks out of the gymnasium. It begins rampaging through the town, destroying buildings, cars, and anything in its path. Panic spreads as the townspeople realize that the monstrous creature is still alive and more dangerous than ever. In the film's climax, the townspeople, led by Mr. Kingman and the sheriff, decide that they must lure the spider back into the cave, where they can trap and destroy it. Using powerful amplifiers and loud music to attract the spider, they manage to draw it back into the cave. Once the spider is inside, they set off a series of explosions, causing a cave-in that buries the creature under tons of rock and debris. The film ends with the townspeople standing outside the sealed cave, hopeful that the giant spider has been permanently entombed. However, as the camera lingers on the cave entrance, the film leaves the audience with a chilling sense of uncertainty, suggesting that perhaps the monstrous spider, or others like it, could one day return. Earth vs. the Spider is a quintessential example of 1950s giant monster movies, featuring the classic themes of nature gone awry and the consequences of scientific experimentation. The film capitalizes on the fears of the time, delivering suspense, thrills, and a memorable giant spider that has earned its place in the annals of sci-fi horror cinema. There are thousands more great videos like this on the channel. Please take a look, share and subscribe, or visit the Bonswivit shop on eBay, which has over 250,000 rare and collectible items listed.